Hello everyone, and welcome back to Gander Gardening with Dawn. Today is March 21st, which I believe is the first day of spring. And it really feels like spring today because it is actually 15 degrees Celsius outside, which is about 60 Fahrenheit for those of you that use Fahrenheit. And we are definitely in the midst of fake spring because there's no way that spring will be arriving quite this early. So we all have to sort of temper our expectations, but enjoy this warm weather while we have it. So today I'm going to do a couple of things and share them with you. One is an update on all of the seedlings that I started in March, and a couple of them slightly before March. And I'm also going to update you on some of the seedlings that I started earlier in the year and show you how those are going. And I'm also going to show you how I pot up tiny seedlings that are growing in the Jiffy pellets, Jiffy pods, I call them lots of times. So I'm going to start with the Schizanthus, and I'm still not sure how to say that, Schizanthus, however, angel mix. And these were started on February the 17th. And just look at how quickly these guys are growing. And they germinated in 3 days, much more quickly than I expected. I've never grown these before from seed, so I didn't know what to expect. And they are doing incredibly well. And this next number of plants, I think the next 4, were all started on March the 2nd. And this first one is also a plant that I've never grown before from seed. And this is Gomphrena, and this is QIS Carmine or Carmen. Again, I'm not exactly sure, but they are doing incredibly well. Really happy with the way that they're looking. And hopefully I'm going to get these to dry later in the summer for some nice Christmas decorations, I'm hoping. So Gomphrena started on March the 2nd. So that is 19 days ago. So they're doing pretty well. Also on March the 2nd are these, which are a little bit smaller, but still doing well. And these are the Azuratum Blue Horizon. And as you see, they're looking pretty good as well. And really happy with the way that they're doing. Again, high germination rate, really pleased with them. And the third seed that was started on March the 2nd was bunny tail grass. And as one would expect, it looks like grass. And that's the thing about these. They don't really look like anything except ordinary grass until they start putting out the little bunny tails. But actually, these were of the 4 plant seeds I started on March the 2nd, these had the poorest germination. I would say there was about 60% germination on these, and I don't know why. I have no idea, but anyway, I think I will have enough of them. So bunny tail grass. And the 4th seed that was started on March the 2nd is the annual Monarda. Lemon bee balm. This guy has lots of different common names. Again, never grew this one from seed before. The Azuratum and the bunny tail grass, I've grown lots of times from seed, but this one is new to me. Again, germinated really well, and they're growing really well, growing really flat to the surface of the soil, which is interesting. Most of the other seedlings have a little bit of height to them, but these are really flat as of yet. So the next type of seeds I started were apricot mix strongflower, and I'm actually going to show you those and how I am potting them up. They're the ones that are in the pellets, and I am going to show you how to pot those up from that. So that'll be in here. Here I am in my laundry room, which is one of the areas where I do a lot of my indoor gardening, because there's a big sink with access to some water, and if I make a bit of mess in here, it really doesn't matter. So here are the straw flower seedlings, and these are apricot mix, and they were started on March the 11th. And as you can see, I started them in these little Jiffy pellets, and I put 2 seeds per pellet, and that was 10 days ago. That was just 10 days ago, because today is the 21st. And you can see that they've grown a lot in 10 days. And also, if I lift some of them up, I'm not sure if this one, yeah, you can see, if I show you carefully, that there's a couple of roots that are sticking out from the pellet. So at this point, and they mostly have their second set of leaves. So at this point, I usually like to pot them up into slightly larger pots. And I go for generally these little 2-inch by 2-inch pots. They may be a little larger than that, not much. I recycle these over and over again. Or sometimes I use these little plastic cups. And as you see, I already wrote on this one, straw flower apricot mix. And I did find that making holes in the bottom of these was difficult. So I'm just going to show you a little trick that I have learned. If you take a knife, and this isn't a particularly good knife, and as you can see, I've already cracked the tip off it by trying to make holes in things. And what I simply do, and hopefully you can see this, I just use the knife to cut little holes. I usually put 3 little wedge-shaped holes along the edge of the bottom of the cup, like that. I have 3. And so that works out really well, because that's the lowest part of the cup. And so water drains out of there really well, and it's really easy. And much easier than sticking a hole in that way, especially if you broke the top off your knife. So I'm going to start with this little one. And in a previous video, I was telling you that I like to pull this papery thing off the outside. And as you can see, it comes off pretty easily. And here in my laundry room, I just shake off a little bit of soil. I just throw this into the garbage can. And now I have a pellet with 2. So I often will take that same knife, and I will just go between the 2 of these and work through a little bit and push it apart. And there we go. So now I have 2. They separated. You have to be a little bit careful with these. Some of the soil will fall off if you do this, but now I have the 2, and I'm going to pot those up in these. So when I pot them up, I usually use Pro-Mix potting soil. That's my favorite. And I'll just fill up the little cup. And this is pretty moist. I don't mind if it's a bit dry. I like to tap on the cup like this. And I love this little indoor gardening spade. And in fact, this one is getting really loose. I need a new one. Anyone watching that wants to get me a little gift for Easter, I could use one of these. So I like to lift up the section, make a little hole in the soil, and then I'll just put that right in there, as you see. And then I simply add a little bit of soil. I usually use this smaller spade around. Here we go. And I like to tap on the sides, and I like to tap on the bottom and make sure that there's good soil contact with the, and there you go. There's just the one. And I have right here just an old Rubbermaid plastic container that has about an inch, 2.5 centimeters or so of about room temperature water. And I just place that in there and let the water soak up. And in a circumstance where there's just one, as you see right here, there's just one in this pellet. That is even a lot easier. So again, I just fill up my cup. Till it's, you know, 1.5 inches or so from the top. I like to work it in just a little bit. I'll make a little bit of a dent in the center. And again, I like to tear off this paper coating. And I like to do this potting up stage when, just as the first true leaves are there, and also before many of the roots, like there's a root right there, before too many roots stick out, because you don't want to damage the roots too much. Throw the casing in the garbage, and I'll just put this right in the center and top it up around. Here we go. Really easy. Make sure there's good contact between the pellet and the soil. I like to tap it a little bit, make sure it's settled in. It settled down a little bit too much, so I need to add another little bit. And these straw flowers are growing really quickly, so I'm glad I didn't start them too early. Here we go. And I'll just finish the rest. So I ended up with 16 of these apricot mix straw flower. And the ones that you see in the green cups, I'm going to be selling those at a craft fair that's coming up on April the 12th. I'm going to have a little bit of a seedling sale there here in my hometown of Gander. And on March 11th, I started 2 other types of seed, and they were both Nicotiana. And this first one, let me just get it up here to show you, is still in the pellets, still in the Jiffy pods, I like to call them. And this is Nicotiana Crimson Better. And as you can see, they are just starting to germinate. So that March the 11th is 10 days ago. So that's about what you'd expect for 10 days. The seeds are really tiny from Nicotiana. I've grown these many times from seed. In fact, these Crimson Better plants did so well that it's one of the reasons I grow so many things from seed these days, because they just were such a joy to grow, and I couldn't imagine being without them now. So a really high germination rate, and they are very tiny. They take a long time to get going. Once they get going, they grow really fast, but they take a while to get started. Also, I planted on the same day the lime green Nicotiana. Now, these I have not grown from seed before, and a slightly lower germination rate, because I started 6 pods each of these. And you can see that the other 2 pods are still under the dome, because they haven't germinated yet. Now, they still may, because it's quite early. 10 days is not a long time for Nicotiana to germinate. It can take easily up to 2 weeks or even longer than that. But these are doing pretty well. And I'll do the same thing with these. Once they get large enough and they're starting to develop the first set of true leaves, that's when I will separate them and I will pot them up into slightly larger pots. And now I'm going to share with you some of these seedlings that I started much earlier. In fact, these first two I started on January the 1st, and they are purple bellvine. And as you see, these are huge now. And I have 20 of these. And I'm going to show you how I keep them compact a little bit until it's safe to plant them outside, which won't be yet for a while. And that'll be right here on the video right now. And here are some of the 20 seedlings that I have of purple bellvine. These were all planted on January the 1st, and they have been potted up at least once, some of them maybe twice. And I just wanted to show you some maintenance that I do on these before it's time to put them outside. I wouldn't have planted these seeds quite so early if I knew that they were going to germinate so quickly, because they can take up to 40 days to germinate, but these germinated, well, in about 3 or 4 days. And I wouldn't have planted as many if I knew this many were going to germinate. But there you go. I have 20. And so what I do at this stage, when they develop these vines, I guess you could call them, they're very narrow. Let me show you this one. You could see better perhaps. There's one right here. What I do while I'm waiting for for the weather actually to turn warm enough to plant them out, is I keep trimming these off. And what that does, and I think you can see it right there, what that does is it makes a very bushy bottom part, a very thick bottom part of the plant. It helps the plant develop really great roots, an excellent root system, so that when I do finally put them outside, when the weather is appropriate to put them outside, which for me will be around the latter part of May, then I let them go crazy. And it means that they develop many, many more of the vines, many more stems, twining stems, and it works really well. So just let me show you on another one. And these I just toss. I did try once to see if any of these would root for me in water and or in soil, and none of them did. So I don't bother to try that anymore. But here's another one, and I just snip them off. And I keep doing that until it's time to plant them outside. And another seed that I started on January the 1st was Silver Falls dichondra. And you can see now that they're starting to drape, and I have 14 of these. And I started on January the 18th, another 2 types of seed. And the first of those, it was snapdragons. And these are snapdragons that I've grown for quite a long time. This one is called Chantilly Velvet. And I already pinched it back. I think you can see there where I pinched it back. And there are 2 growing from there now. These are doing really, really well. And also on January the 18th, I started light salmon snapdragons, and they are all doing really, really well as also. I have 10 of the light salmon, and I have 20 of the Chantilly Velvet. And last year I planted those out on April the 14th. Which it was a bit early. I'm going to wait until, if I can, keep them in until the 1st of May. I'm going to try to do that. But if this weather continues, I might be tempted to put them out a little bit earlier than that. And also on January the 18th, I started a couple of foxgloves. And these are both first year blooming foxgloves. And my favorite of those is Dalmatian Peach. And this is one right here. And started on the same day is Camelot White. And the Camelot White are their bigger foxglove. They start out bigger and they keep going bigger. But right now, it's kind of hard to tell the difference between the two. They're doing so incredibly well. So it's a good thing that I have them in different color pots because I know which one is which by the color of the pot. So it was on February the 18th, exactly a month later, that I started some more seeds. And so this is interesting because this is what Dalmatian Peach looks like. That was started on February the 18th. So over a month, about 5 weeks growing. And this, and let me get the right one. This is the Dalmatian Peach in the mauve color. So this was planted 1 month to the day after this one. So isn't that incredible? That's how much it will grow in 1 month. Wow. But you know what? This one will bloom this summer. So lesson learned, maybe you don't need to start them quite as early. Maybe next year I will start them a little bit later. And boy, am I ready for spring. So thank you. If you stayed and watched this whole thing, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate that. And I enjoy this channel, and I hope that you come back and check out how things are going and what these plants look like when they finally make it out to the garden, which here in Newfoundland won't be until probably May the 1st for many of them, and some of them not until June the 1st.